As promised, AJ Styles and John Cena deliver an absolute classic. Stephanie Vaquer walks home with the Crown Jewel Championship. Seth Rollins once again controls his vision and so much more. This is the WWE Crown Jewel Recap, a WWE and Fanatics original production. Oh, Megan, we meet again, of all places here, of all times now, Crown Jewel.
A little dusty in the Roberts house this morning, huh?
Well, maybe a little bit. Crown Jewel. What a day, what a morning. I don't know, so many feelings. I don't know if I'm ready to.
It's not even noon yet.
To start my morning like
I've
this.
lived a whole lifetime of emotions.
Yeah, that really does happen. And that is the thing now with some of these John Cena matches. I feel like I'm going through a trip down memory lane that I wasn't ready to take. You know what I mean? I was there for that. No, it's pollen. It's pollen.
Sam only cried a little.
Yeah, and that's really private anyway.
Well, I mean, if you are a wrestling fan and you grew up watching John Cena and AJ Styles, how could this match not make you feel that way?
I mean, it is that sort of, sometimes, there are certain wrestling matches that like they justify why you have these feelings. You grow up as a wrestling fan and then you enter adulthood and you're still just as big a wrestling fan as you ever were, but you encounter people, numbskulls as I call them, that will say like, oh, this is so silly. How can you care this much about something like pro wrestling? How can you care? And then all of a sudden, John Cena and AJ Styles walk into Perth, Australia, and they say, this is why. This is why you care. This is why we care. This is why we do what we do. This is why we sat there when Triple H sent out that tweet and got his Triple H thumbs going and made the graphic, opened his Triple H Photoshop and made the graphic himself for John Cena and AJ Styles. This is why we got so excited. To me, this is what we envisioned the entire John Cena retirement tour to be about. Matches and like this, and this match in particular. I mean, you saw my reaction. I might have gotten a little welled up from the entrance. With the minute I look at AJ Styles and said, oh my gosh, he's in the TNA gear.
And it meant even more because we talked to AJ Styles on the Crown Jewel preview show.
Yeah.
And he was so honest with us in the fact that he didn't think this match was going to happen.
Originally. When
yes.
the year started. Yeah, he said, I don't know what my place would be because apparently they don't see me as this caliber of a wrestler. But I think, and I think that there was a lot here that was designed to remind everybody that may have forgotten, but maybe also to remind himself who he was. Maybe AJ needed to look in the mirror and see the TNA gear, see that necklace on again, see the trunks on again that he wore, and be reminded. And maybe he needed that too. Maybe he needed the reminder that John Cena gave him by having Alicia Taylor read that entrance, that
was
introduction.
Emotional, right? The fact that it's handwritten.
Yeah.
He gives the note to Alicia, and you could tell that AJ didn't know what Alicia was going to say.
No.
And as soon as she began her announcement, the smirk on AJ's face, it seemed like he was getting slightly welled up as well.
Well, because I think it was a smirk, right? Because when she said, the definition of total nonstop action, you go, oh, TNA reference. And AJ goes, that's cool. A TNA reference on a WWE PLE, that's cool. I mean, it's a little bit more fitting now because of the partnership that NXT and TNA have, but that's cool. And then when she said, what was it? I don't even want to paraphrase this one. I wrote it down because to me, I thought it was very meaningful as well. The undisputed, what was it? The ace and undisputed boss of the Bullet Club. And that's when AJ went,
okay, you got me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could see it. He mouthed the word, wow. Like, this is not about a rematch from whatever it was, 2017. This is about two people. And Michael Cole, like, this is not internet talk. This is not AJ on a podcast with us saying, I'm thinking about wrapping it up soon. Michael Cole was very clear on commentary. Like, yeah, this is John Cena's last year, but next year AJ's gone too. AJ's last year is going to be 2026. And that doesn't mean he's going to get a John Cena, retirement run in December. It just means that by the end of next year, both the men that we saw in the ring tonight are done wrestling. And there was this sort of like moment where you were like, huh. And of course, when you see it on paper, right? When somebody tells you AJ and John are both going to be done, John at the end of this year and AJ by the time, the ball drops and 2027 comes in, AJ will have been retired as well. On paper, you go, ooh, that's tough to process.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you see this match and you watch them kind of almost play through their careers and how much that's meant to fans, like you realize how many John Cena matches I've watched, how many AJ Styles matches that I've watched throughout the entire world, not just in WWE. And it all reaches this pinnacle at Crown Jewel. And you're like, yeah, this is what makes wrestling special.
I thought it was unbelievably cool that you look at that crowd in Perth, Australia, and this was from the beginning of the show, and you see all of the yellow shirts, and you realize those are all John Cena shirts.
Nobody else has a yellow shirt.
They all came for this match for John Cena. They're all wearing the John Cena t-shirt, but then AJ's introduction, AJ's entrance, everybody's clapping along for AJ as well, right? I mean, this was just beyond special. It was almost, there was something romantic about John Cena and AJ Styles and the match they put together, right?
Yeah.
On paper, it's romantic, but all the tributes that they made throughout as well added another level to it.
And I think, too, like the fact that they were all yellow shirts, it's not like everybody was pulling out their old John Cena shirts. Those were all shirts that they bought, like, at the Superstore that weekend or at the merch booth. Like that is celebrating this moment that everybody was here for. And you're right. You heard it when AJ came out, and you really heard it when John came out and he made Stu.
He took the camera from Stu.
He said, I'm going to shoot this one. And you forget, that's what makes John Cena the GOAT. He really can do it all. But I mean, like all of the tribute, was there one tribute that stopped you in your tracks? Because it really was. We started seeing these tributes probably after SummerSlam. I don't remember that there were any tributes at SummerSlam, but really, ironically,
was it Paris? I think Paris was really when we started noticing some of the tributes.
Yeah, well, ironically, like the first time people went, oh, I see what's going on here, is when John Cena put Logan Paul in the Styles Clash.
Mm-hmm. In the Logan Paul match, yeah.
And here we are with AJ Styles. Like, it was the AJ Styles move that kind of made us all go, oh, wait, this isn't just a coincidence. He's doing a thing. There's a thing going on here.
For me, out of all the tributes, the one that really stopped me,
Tonight.
I was like, oh, he's tuning up the band.
Oh, AJ getting ready for the super kick?
Yes.
Which was especially teasing, because it's like AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels might be the one match that we'll never get to see, that we all like. That, like, for most fans, it doesn't take us long to be like, what's the one match you'd love to see?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Austin Punk, AJ versus Shawn Michaels. Like, that's that short list of matches.
Well, it takes you a minute. He starts to do it and you go, is he? Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's tuning up the band? Yes!
We got teased for a moment when, like, the fans in Perth thought it was Request a Move night, and they started chanting 619, 619. And for a second, you heard Michael Cole, Wade Barrett on commentary going like, I don't think that's physically possible. And then all of a sudden, AJ is prone, and you're like, wait a second. You can hear it in Michael Cole's voice when he becomes a kid as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's seen everything. He's been around forever. And like when he becomes a kid as well, you're onto something.
Well, all of the tributes started to add up, and it's like, why wouldn't we get a 619 in this moment?
Right. Because we're not living in reality anymore.
No.
Right?
They're giving us everything else.
It's a cartoon come to life. Like, we're just seeing it. I think Cena hitting that skull-crushing finale, especially with everything we've heard from The Miz in the last week or two. AJ not only hitting Sweet Chin music, but the Scorpion Death Drop, because this is like AJ going like, okay, well, I contribute my people too, and the Coquina Clutch.
Yes,
like these are tributes that go back to TNA, and like really, I love AJ taking ownership of his legacy as well, which he's in a very, very unique position because his legacy extends outside of WWE, and I think that was absolutely on display. I mean, we saw an accolade, shout out to Rusev We saw the walls of Jericho of all moves. People were like, wait a minute. When he was like, when they were like, wait, he's not sitting down. If he's not sitting down and he's keeping AJ kind of arched up like that and tilting him all the way back. And Michael Cole's going, that's not a Boston Crab. That's not a Boston Crab. And I was like, I know it's not a Boston Crab. That's the walls of Jericho. It can only be one thing.
We got to see an RKO.
Well, we got to see the Randy DDT.
Yes.
Right? And then you go, is that what I thought it was? Was that a Randy DDT? And then when Cena starts like, he gets down in that Viper position, you're like, it was a Randy DDT.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I think the one that got everybody for sure was the Sister Abigail.
How special.
All the
right?
Fireflies coming out.
Yeah.
Immediate, like everybody knowing.
Right away.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Bray Wyatt, John Cena connection runs deep. You go to WrestleMania 30, and the build up to WrestleMania 30 was what really kind of showed the world, oh, Bray's a main event guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go all the way up to WrestleMania, was the pandemic WrestleMania, so I guess it was WrestleMania 36 and the Firefly Funhouse. And honestly, like, even though it was I guess, theatrical match or cinematic match is what they call it, even though it was a cinematic match, it would have been a fitting match if that was the end of Cena. You know, they're so interconnected in that way. But Cena not only hitting a choke slam, but ending the match with a tombstone into an AA was like, okay, because that's another one that we're not going to get to see. We know that the Undertaker John Cena connection literally starts night 1 of John Cena on SmackDown. So I'm sure that that's another one that John would have loved to have been like one more with the Undertaker, but it's not going to happen. So,
but
tip of the cap.
While we're not going to get the match, it's also a nod to his career, right? It's a nod
100%.
to night 1 on SmackDown, John Cena. And everybody can pull from that, right? So it's like we're not going to see all the matches we want to see, but having these moments and having these tributes makes the retirement tour that much more special.
And I think that you're 100% right, that it isn't about the opponents. It's about the story. It's about how all of these moves are that kind of story of John Cena. And they all are what makes John Cena, John Cena. And AJ splashing in a little of what makes AJ, AJ, I thought was awesome. I was happy to see John Cena win. I don't think that the loss leaves anybody questioning where AJ's standing is at all.
No.
You know what I
not
mean?
At all.
I don't think that affects anything. But I do think that coming off of, because the Brock Lesnar loss that John Cena took was not only just a wrestler getting decimated, but it was fans being like, come on.
The wind got taken out of everybody.
Well, we've only got 5 left after this. There was 6 at that point. And
Yeah,
this
and
is
it
one of
felt-
the 6?
It felt like it just started to get really good at SummerSlam. And then the Brock Lesnar match happens and it's, oh.
Yeah. Because in actuality, like, this is what we want from this John Cena retirement tour, is like just some time to celebrate somebody that maybe it took us a while. A lot of us were booing John Cena in those great years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we've all kind of realized that he is the GOAT. And so we all want this opportunity to celebrate John Cena, and we're getting it now. And now I sit here and think about other moments, moves, things that John Cena can do. And as I'm watching this match, I go, you know, at some point, a rock bottom is going to hit real hard. Like, that's all. A rock bottom at some point is going to hit real,
And we haven't
real
seen that
hard.
yet.
Nope. But Rock and Cena, you know, that WrestleMania 28 and 29 series, technically 27, 28, 29, is very important for John
The
Cena.
crowd is going to go absolutely insane.
Especially if it's just the right moment with just the right amount of theatricality to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like presenting this as a
Don't
moment.
get me wrong, all of the tributes are special in
Amazing.
their own way. But the rock bottom, you got to save that one.
I know. And who knows when it'll, I think a rock bottom and a broski boot. Those are the 2 things that I'm waiting for. Who knows? Who knows when we're going to get it? But now, yeah, and now we look forward and we've got, 2 Monday Night Raws, I think Survivor Series, and
the
Saturday
last
night's main
match.
event. And that's what we've got for John Cena for the rest of the year. And now, I mean, I think it's opened a whole new can of worms with AJ Styles, where it's like, if we're really saying that we've got a year or less with AJ. Like, how does that look, especially as we're going into 2026?
Yeah.
How does that look? And I think that now that it's in the zeitgeist, now that it's been said out loud, I think, especially coming off of this match, it's definitely something that you've got to address and kind of celebrate.
And for some of the young guys in the locker room, I think of like a Braun Breaker, and it's like if you could have a match with AJ Styles
Right.
in his last year.
I would say it about Dominic Mysterio, but he already beat him twice.
Oh.
We were talking about.
You really know how to bring the mood down.
We're here to celebrate AJ Styles. We were talking about. He did beat him twice. We were talking about those T-shirts, the John Cena yellow T-shirts. Of course, they were everywhere. I feel like these John Cena farewell T-shirts, especially for moments like this, are becoming more than just merch. They're becoming a piece of history.
Mm-hmm.
He continued it this weekend at Crown Jewel, the farewell tour, and to celebrate, you can check out his brand new Perth collection. If you want to be like the people of Perth, get in on that yellow John Cena T-shirt. Hit up Fanatics and WWE shop right now. It's got the T-shirt, the hat, the sweatbands, towels, everything you need. You can grab it all at WWE shop and Fanatics. And of course, we're going to talk about Rhea Ripley in a few minutes. But Australia's own Rhea Ripley has teamed up with Terrifier, Art the Clown, the whole deal, for an official collab. And that's all also now live at WWE shop and Fanatics. So you can celebrate Rhea Ripley, her connection with Art the Clown and Terrifier. Rhea Ripley would be a great horror villain.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because she's the type that could lure you in. And then I love horror movies like that when they lure you in and then you realize that it's already too late. Before they've done a thing, you're like, oh my God, it's already too late. I'm already done. And I think Rhea's got that kind of power.
She could lure us all in. I would
Yeah.
do whatever Rhea tells me to do.
And then you realize, well, that's it for you. You screwed up. A lot of people were walking into Crown Jewel wondering if Seth Rollins had screwed up.
Not
Seth
me.
Rollins.
I came dressed for the occasion in my Seth Rollins t-shirt.
You are such a politicker. You know, I think you really think that Seth Rollins is going to have this power. And you're going to be able to say, Seth, I believe in the vision. I believe in the vision, Seth. I've never heard you believe in the vision. Now all of a sudden you go, just in case. Because here's what I think. I see that jacket behind you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were going to zip up the jacket had Seth lost and said, oh, I love the American Nightmare. I think you're politicking.
I mean, the jacket is, nice, cozy fall weather.
Yeah.
Just listen, I did have some concerns. When I woke up this morning and I put my Seth Rollins t-shirt on, I said, he has to win. There's no doubt in my mind. The vision is not going to die. The vision is going to thrive and prevail. And it starts tonight when Seth Rollins defeats Cody Rhodes. But then I see this backstage interaction between Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. And Paul Heyman says, congratulations on your victory. I'm so proud of you. Bronson Reed, I'm paraphrasing all of this. But if Seth Rollins comes out and he needs our help, don't go. He needs to win this one on his own.
Which was like the opposite. Like he takes that pause and you're like, if Seth Rollins waves like this, that's the signal, is what I thought we were going to hear.
Yeah.
And he just goes, don't go. And you're like, and Seth has said everything goes through him.
Mm-hmm.
Are those the wishes of Seth Rollins? Or is that something that Paul Heyman decided on?
And then I'm thinking about the backstage interaction between Seth and Paul on Raw when Seth is asking Paul, what happens if I don't win?
Right. I remember on Raw Recap, I told you that Paul had to figure out a way to word that where he did explain that it's going to be tough if Seth loses, but somehow survives if Seth wins without being looked at as disloyal.
And so I'm looking at Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who we're going to talk about in just a couple of minutes, but I'm looking at them and I thought they were so impressive that they definitely elevated after their match at Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yes.
all right, well, maybe Paul goes with them and Seth loses. And I'm trying to think about what's going to happen in the main event. And I did start to get a little bit nervous, thinking I may have to zip up my jacket and not sport Seth Rollins' shirt. But thankfully, the vision.
I saw you. You know what she was doing?
The vision is clear.
You took a piece of duct tape and started writing QB1 on it so you could slap it on your jacket just in
Right
case.
there. Yeah,
just in
I did.
case Cody won.
I did.
I
yeah.
saw you were
did.
doing it.
I did. I had to be prepared, right?
But you
Give
know
the
what?
people what they want.
Here's the thing about Megan Moran. You know whose team you're on?
The winners,
That's
just
right.
like Paul
That's
Heyman.
right.
Me
That's
and Paul
right.
Heyman
That's
always.
right.
I like winners.
That's right, except in baseball because you like the White Sox. So it's tough. But yeah, I mean, it really was this scenario where Seth was in a must-win. Cody, I kind of considered to be in a must-win, but the way it was painted, it was would be nice to win, but not as must-win as Seth is.
I mean, he's 3-0 against Rollins.
Right.
He goes to 3-1. He
It's
still
not
has
great,
a better record.
but it's still a better record, and he's not positioned to lose everything.
Mhm.
The way Seth Rollins was positioned to lose everything. On Raw, Becky Lynch throws a fit because she doesn't like referees' cadences.
I don't blame her.
Okay. I like that. I put it in a way that made it sound ridiculous, and you responded to that by going, yeah, that's what one should do.
It was an inaccurate cadence.
No, okay, it was an inaccurate cadence, to be fair. But she says, I'm not going to Perth because of that. I don't even know if Seth realized that or not because he wasn't paying attention to her. He was
Not even in the least.
not even a little bit. He was looking at the watch again. And so he doesn't have Becky Lynch, and then we find out you're right. Earlier in the night, see, what I thought was going to happen was Roman Reigns, leave it to me to think Roman Reigns is just going to come in and destroy everybody. But I figured, like, hey, Sam, what do you think is going to happen? Well, Roman Reigns shows up and destroys everybody. Of course. No, what do you think is going to happen? Not what do you want to happen? It's the same. I don't know. And so I go, well, if Roman Reigns destroys everybody earlier in the night, Seth's going to have no backup. See, that's where I figured Seth would have no backup, but because Roman Reigns destroys everybody.
So you're right on that part, but you weren't right on the how.
That's exactly right. It was the opposite. It was the total. He did not. Well, we'll talk about it. But Heyman goes, we're not going out. Seth's doing this by himself. And I go, oh boy, this is going to get tough because either we knew you could do it, champ, or you should have been able to do it, Seth. And I'm like, that's a tough spot for Seth Rollins to be in. So the match is tremendous, you know. And also, to show up in zebra print and lose is a wild thing. I mean, you talk about being in a must-win scenario. To go out in defeat and you are still wearing zebra print is tough.
Not only that, but the tribute on his tights as well. The tribute to the Hell in the Cell match, the tribute to WrestleMania 38.
That's correct.
And the tribute to, what was it?
Backlash.
Backlash.
Yeah, Backlash after WrestleMania 38.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like, and the tribute was, I think it was actual swatches of the fabric.
Yeah.
Like, and I noticed the polka dots first, but then you look down and you're like, oh, there's the lace.
Mhm.
Oh, there's the that kind of metallic blue. That's fabric from the gear that he wore, I believe, at WrestleMania and Backlash and that Hell in a Cell match where Cody showed up with the torn pack.
And the polka dots takes it to another level because that's Dusty too. And
Right,
then
and
it's the second time.
Right, I got you again.
Yeah.
I got you again. And usually polka dots and zebra print does not go together.
But it did this time.
Seth pulled it off.
Yeah. he
Leave
always
it to
does.
Seth. But I'll tell you, the first kind of moment in that match that I had was actually Seth Rollins being introduced first and standing in the ring. And there was just this moment where the crowd in Perth had stopped singing his song and you were waiting for Cody's music to hit. And I was right back 3-4 years ago. I was right back to WrestleMania, to Backlash. I'm like, we've been here before. It was almost deja vu, but in the sense like, oh, this really does have historical significance.
When he stood there in Dallas and didn't know who his opponent was going to be, there was that brief moment where Seth is looking up, taking it all in, and then Cody's music hits.
Boom, boom.
And the prodigal
Wrestling
son had
has
come
more
home.
than one. Yeah. So I was right back there, and I was like, man, this is really, really cool. And it was, I mean, the match was amazing. Cody kicking out of that first stomp, Seth kicking out of a super crossroads, I'll call it. A crossroads off the top. Seth kicks out of it. The coast-to-coast headbutt. I don't know that I've ever seen a coast-to-coast headbutt before, but Seth pulled it off. And that's one of those things where say what you want about professional wrestling, but you're literally on one side of the ring. You're like, I have to dive across and make contact with Cody Rhodes right now, or I'm going to look like a fool.
When he's standing up there, I'm like, is he going to make it?
I'm sure he was asking himself the same question, but he made it. Contact with Cody. Couldn't get the pin on that, though. And at one point, he gets that watch that has been, I don't know, it's been telling the story of this match.
Well, it's interesting because he's gazing in the area, right? In the area of the timekeeper. And there's a massive Crown Jewel championship there. And I'm thinking, is he going to use the Crown Jewel championship?
Which almost feels cumbersome because I'm sure if it made contact, it would hurt. But to lift it all the way into the ring and everything.
Yeah, and how are you going to get away from the referee seeing that?
Everybody, I mean, we could probably see it from where we were across the world.
Yes.
At least the glimmer.
That championship is massive. But then he scurries over to the timekeeper. I'm like, where is he going?
Yeah.
That watch again. He's obsessed, and he just has this maniacal look in his face, the evil Seth Rollins as he gazes at that watch.
Right. And the meaningfulness of it. And you don't know, he decides not to use it at first. And is that because he doesn't want to use that specific watch? Is that because he wants to do it without using a foreign object? Is that, who knows?
I'm thinking Rolexes are expensive.
Maybe he doesn't want to have to buy another watch. But they will. I mean, they're like, I know they'll take a licking and keep on ticking. That's the thing. So at first he doesn't use it, but then he realizes his back is up against the wall. He wraps that Rolex around his knuckles. Cody puts him ready for the crossroads. And for the second time in a year, it's the same thing John Cena did to Cody. It's a different watch, but the same thing. It was a Rolex. Cody gets hit with a Rolex across like his face that was wrapped around somebody's knuckles. It's like, Cody, stay out of the watch game, dude. I've never known anybody get punched in the face with watches as much as Cody Rhodes. But he does this time, I think, even more significantly than the John Cena one, because the John Cena one, John took the watch off of Cody's wrist, wrapped it around his fingers, hit Cody. This one was the Rolex that Cody gifted Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins acted as the shield for Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, enabling Cody Rhodes to hit those crossroads and win the WWE Championship, finally finishing his story against the most dominant champion of the modern era, Roman Reigns. He says, thank you, and he gives him a watch with that 4-0 on it. The same watch that Cody has, the same watch that I think all the participants of that main event of WrestleMania
has.
I don't know if he has it or not. I don't know if he handed it back to Cody Rhodes, but it has played a part in that story as well. But he wraps it around his wrist. Cody puts him in the crossroads. Reaches up, clocks him across the jaw. Clean across the jaw. The referee has got the wind knocked out of him. Cody Rhodes takes a watch around the fingers to the jaw. And as he's trying to get up, the referee is now looking. And Seth hits a super stomp off the top. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins the Crown Jewel Championship. It was definitely a very different scene than the scene was when Stephanie Vaquer got it. Triple H almost seemed like proud Papa Triple H when he was putting the title on Stephanie Vaquer. I felt like the interaction between Triple H and Seth Rollins was more set. I mean, first he threw Kathy out of the ring, didn't even let her ask him a question. But I thought it was far more like, put it on. Triple H going, okay, you got it. Okay, you did it, Seth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I have to wonder, man, once again, the hospitality of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes wanting to be the nice QB. Cody Rhodes wanting to be the type of QB that lifts his entire team up with him has come back and bit him again. Cody Rhodes got hit with the watch that he gave to Seth Rollins. I mean, instantly I'm thinking to myself, that's literally the worst gift I've ever given anybody.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes was looking to be the history-making, first ever 2-time Crown Jewel champion winner. I mean, you don't think that Cody was looking... Who does Cody compare himself to? Brady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does Brady have 1 ring?
No, he has 7.
You don't think Cody wanted to fill his hand up?
Of course he did.
Cody will do... And Cody, look, Cody is a great guy. And Cody, I think, does. Cody wants to be the guy because he wants to be the guy to lift everybody up. And that's for a shoot. Cody wants everybody to succeed. Cody wants this company, WWE, to be the best WWE that it has ever been under his, no pun intended, but I'll accept it, watch. But make no mistake about it, Cody wants to be the guy.
Yes,
and Cody wants to have now that those rings are there, Cody wants a handful of rings. He doesn't want like, well, I was the guy this year, Seth was the guy the next year, Punk was the guy the year after that, Roman was the guy the year after that. No. Like, there is no question. You know why Cena's getting this tour right now? Because there's no question. It's called the Cena era in my mind. He was the guy. There was no question about it, to the point that it frustrated people. It was one of CM Punk's frustrations. It was one of Randy Orton's frustrations. It was one of Edge's frustrations. But John Cena was, honestly, it was one of Seth Rollins' frustrations. But John Cena was the guy. And that's who Cody Rhodes wants to be. And because he gifted a watch to Seth Rollins has taken that ring for himself.
Well, Seth Rollins is done helping others. He's done.
Unless you fall in line.
That's right. Unless you're part of the vision.
But let me ask you this. First of all, do you think Cody looks at it that way, that I got to stop giving people gifts, or am I being pessimistic?
I don't know if he looks at it that way yet,
Do you
but
think he should?
do think he should.
Okay.
I do
nice.
think when Cody Rhodes looks at himself in the mirror,
Right.
he needs to, sometimes good guys finish last.
Oof.
Sometimes.
It has happened.
Yes.
It
And
has happened.
sometimes when you're a good guy, people take advantage of you.
That's right. I believe that Green Day was the artist that did the song for Crown Jewel. They once said, nice guys finish last. They said it. I think they were the first.
The first ever to say that.
Ever. Ever. I said,
Shout
wow.
out Green Day.
I heard this song. I go, I can't believe it. I never even considered
Breaking
that, but they're
news.
right. They're
Yeah.
right about that. They
And
do sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not all the time.
We love when good guys finish first.
It's like me.
Yeah, good guy on top.
Yeah, exactly.
I acknowledge you.
I love the hesitation. I guess you're a good guy.
Yeah, we were talking about Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Green Day, and just throw Not Sam into the mix.
I mean, somewhat, I suppose.
Yeah, you're a good guy. Yeah,
As opposed to, I guess.
you're a good guy, and look, you got an action figure. The whole
Hey.
thing. Life couldn't be any better.
No, it couldn't be better. It's never been better.
But for Cody,
Um,
I do think at some point he needs to look himself in the mirror and ask himself,
Am I
if-
too nice?
yeah,
Do I need to, is now the time to lift everybody up around me? Or is now the time to make sure that I'm firmly positioned as number one? And then I'll spend some time lifting up people around me.
Mhm.
You know? I don't know. It's very, very interesting. But regardless, okay, here's my other question then in regards to this. So there are regards. It's not regardless. So here's some regards. The vision. Does Seth's dynamic with that group change? Because it does feel like they've been splintered. It feels like Bronson, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman have been over here dealing with Roman Reigns' business, while Seth has been dealing with Cody Rhodes' business. Paul Heyman telling them not to come out and help Seth Rollins. Is it as simple as, well, Seth wanted to do this on his own, we were letting him do it on his own? Or is this an instance where Seth now comes back and says, I told you guys I was the man. Now it's time for you guys to have a slice of humble pie.
It's tricky because Seth didn't need their help tonight, right?
No.
He did not need their help. Now, if he was in a situation where he did need their help and they weren't there, I think the dynamic within the vision could change. But how could the dynamic
right.
change within the vision when everybody is walking out of Perth, Australia as a winner?
Yeah, but do you think that they thought Seth was going to win, truly? Do you think they fully had faith in Seth Rollins? Because that's the difference. When you can win without the group, you can hold absolute power.
Mm-hmm.
When you win, but with the group, that's when things are not quite as autonomous.
Yeah.
So my question is, did they really have full faith in Seth Rollins, or was there doubt? And if there was doubt, does Seth bring that back to haunt them? I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to doubt him now after the fact,
can't.
right?
You can't now. And that may be the problem for them. Listen, a lot of massive moments. We always talk about these moments that happen on these PLEs. A lot of massive moments tonight. And, of course, who captures these massive moments?
Tops.
Tops Now, baby.
That's right.
Tops Now. They capture major milestones, viral moments from the biggest events. You know, we've seen incredible cards from WrestleMania, from Money in the Bank, from WrestlePalooza. I just got a notification My Dominic Mysterio wins the Mega Championship card is on its way right now. So hopefully I got the one-of-one signed
Better
version.
get that sleeve ready.
Oh, it's ready. It's always waiting. I got the mag case ready for it.
Mm.
Listen, tonight at Crown Jewel is no different. They always do this before PLEs, right? Topps put out a Crown Jewel poster card that featured Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and John Cena and Rhea Ripley, just to name a few. Collectors who buy the base card will have the chance to receive rainbow foil short prints or even gold super short prints that are limited to 25 copies, but it's only available until Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. As always, make sure that you're following @Topps on social and sign up to notifications on Topps.com for the big moment cards from Crown Jewel. And tune into our podcast, Raw Recap, for more info and card graphics coming up on Monday. I was really hopeful that we were going to get a Roman Reigns Topps Now card, but I don't think that that's in the...
Not after tonight.
Unless there's a Topps Now card that says Jey Uso screwed up.
Oh.
Because that's what the caption would have to say. Jey Uso screwed up.
And he did. He's spearing his cousin into the table. The table was set up there, and you and I are watching together like, oh my gosh, Roman is going to spear Bronson Reed into the table.
Right.
And that's not what happened at all.
And then the moment, it was almost like once Jay went airborne, I was like, oh no, he's going to...
Whoops. My bad.
I mean, listen.
You don't think a my bad oos will fix this one?
My bad oos? No.
I don't think
Oh,
so either.
no. I heard the words that were being said after that match. No, my bad oos is not going to work at all.
No.
There wasn't one feeling of oosiness coming out of that match. I mean, what was left of the Bloodline family looked like it disintegrated after this Crown Jewel match. So you got, look, Bronson Reed got a hometown reaction, but nothing compared to what the Tribal Chief got. Walking to the ring with his two Ula Falas on, and he had that red and black wristband on. I pay attention to all those little details.
Of course you do.
You know what I mean? Because it felt like there was a connection between him and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso going into this. It was the Australian street fight, which I wish had been called the Aussie Rules street fight, but Australian street fight nonetheless, because we saw Roman was chucking rugby balls at Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed, which is what, like in 2K, you can make them throw footballs and stuff at each other, which is great. So
Which is great that we had rugby, right?
Yeah. And then we got cricket bat. Roman Reigns going to town with a cricket bat on Bronson Reed. And, you know, Bronson Reed definitely came back strong at parts. But for the most part, the first 2/3, really, of this match was pretty heavy Roman. Like Roman teaching Bronson Reed a lesson.
And that's what I really wanted to see in this match
me
was Roman teach him a
too.
lesson, right? Because especially after what happened in Paris,
I mean-
Roman wins the match, but that's not what we're talking about when that match is over. We're talking about the fact that Roman Reigns got hit with a tsunami when he was on a stretcher.
Yeah, I remember. I was hoping I wouldn't have to remember because we would get to taste that beautiful, sweet taste of vengeance.
Well, it felt like we were going to taste that.
I
The
know.
beginning part of the match.
I know.
And then Braun Breaker showed up, and
And I was
that's really when all hell broke loose.
But you had to know he was going to, right? It's
Mhm.
an Australian street fight, no rules. Like, there's no way he's not going to. And Roman Reigns had to know he was going to. Roman Reigns caught a very Shield-esque power bomb through the commentary table.
Mhm.
Roman laid out by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
And that was a moment I said, it's done. Roman can't get up from that.
But he did, though. And it was with the help of the Usos. Here come Jimmy and Jey Uso. For a moment, it seemed like they were on the same page, which they haven't. They've only been in bursts. They get on the same page for bursts, but it doesn't last. They were on the same page, taking out Braun. All is well until Braun end up getting the better of the Usos. And you're like, oh, no. Oh, no. And now Roman gets back into this thing, and it's like, okay, well, now Roman, they've at least evened the odds enough so that Roman can get control again. And Paul Heyman is reacting to everything. I mean, the emotions that this guy was going through throughout the match, I can't imagine. It can't be good. It can't be good for your health. But then it happened. We were about to see a spear. I thought we were going to see a spear through the table, right? But Bronson Reed is able to get out of prone position. He and Roman are fighting over it. Jay goes to spear Bronson Reed through the table, messes up. He spears his cousin, the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, through that very table, ironically. And when Perth was chanting, "We want tables," this isn't what they wanted. You have to be careful of what you ask for.
Well, as soon as they started chanting, "We want tables," and then booing Bronson Reed
Good.
put the table away.
Well, then you can't have tables, is what he said. I said, that's cruel. That's cruel and unusual. Hits a tsunami. Bronson Reed beats Roman Reigns. And
what Cole said, it was the first time that Roman had been pinned in a singles match, and
since Cody,
yeah,
it's the first time he's been beaten in it's two people since the beginning of this whole thing have beaten Roman Reigns one-on-one. Cody and Bronson Reed. And people want to doubt Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman did say it after the match. This isn't Braun Breaker is the future and Bronson Reed is the muscle. Bronson Reed is the future. We saw what Bronson Reed did to Seth Rollins a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not only did it was one thing to be like, well, Bronson Reed laid out Roman Reigns in France.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you get that big galoot overseas, you're in trouble. Because in Australia, he pinned Roman Reigns. He beat Roman Reigns with a tsunami, straight up. And that's tough for me. I don't like to see that. I was mad. I was on the radio all week saying, what do I want to see? I want to see smash and stack. I want to see Roman go back to being Roman.
You wanted him to stack Braun?
Stack everybody. Stack
That would
everybody
be it.
on the roster. Remember when Roman just used to come out and beat everybody? It was a foregone conclusion. Roman's on the show. Well, he's going to beat everybody. The only reason to even have a podcast was just to discuss how is he going to beat everybody. But Roman's beating everybody. And now it doesn't happen anymore. He beat Solo in January at Netflix, but then what does he do after that? He goes to the Royal Rumble. He loses. He goes to WrestleMania.
Lost.
He loses. He goes to SummerSlam.
He got a win, but he didn't get the pin.
He's not the one who got it. It was Jay who got it.
Yeah.
He goes to France. I guess he won. It didn't look like it.
Nope.
And now he's sitting here on the revenge tour. And he lost. And then, I thought it was really telling. To me, coming off of that match, and Roman sitting there in the ring, and just like, when this whole bloodline started, it started during the pandemic era, and one of the things that made it different was because there were no fans in the audience, it was what was said, but not into a microphone, that was so compelling. And that hasn't changed now that you have an arena full of people in Perth, Australia. There's still a hush to listen to what is being said in the ring between this family because it's so important to what's going on. And Roman, there was a time when Roman said, I call the plays. And this was villainous Roman Reigns. This was height of the bloodline Roman Reigns. That wasn't what he was saying. He said, nobody thinks I can do this on my own. I told you guys not to be out here. Like, when he said, nobody thinks I can do this on my own. Why are you guys keep doing it? I told you not to do this. And he did say it on Monday. So what he's saying now, he's actually getting into maybe he's gone through some kind of therapy or something because he seems more in touch with his emotions because that's a moment of honesty and clarity. When he goes, I am telling you guys not to interfere in my match. Not because, I'm the boss and I make the rules and I say. It's because the perception is that I only win matches due to interference. And that is not who I want to be. And so I don't want you guys out here. And by the way, I didn't even win. You screwed this up. Because he said this only he said this, what? He let an expletive out. This expletive only works one way. And I'm going, huh.
One way.
And so I'm going I wonder exactly what he is referring to when he says this stuff only works one way. Is it this only works if I can prove that I can do it on my own? Or is it there is no democracy here? If you guys are going to have my back, it's a dictatorship.
You have to do exactly what I say.
And you don't want to do exactly what I say. You don't want to be back in that relationship.
Yeah, because when you were in that relationship, Jey Uso, you weren't the World Heavyweight Champion.
And you left. And Jimmy, you're over here on Raw saying, I don't want Jey to be like you. Well, then, good. But then we can't have it halfway. No such thing as halfway crooks. You can't have it halfway. We're either doing this or we're not doing it. And you guys are the one who doesn't want to do it. And I don't want to put you through that if you don't want to do it. But then you can't come in and pretend that we can do this differently. That's how I read it. And maybe I read it differently than Roman intended it. I don't know, but that's how I took it.
Well, and then I think back to Monday and when Roman told Jay, who's speaking at the top of the hour, and reminded him of that. And it's almost like he's sort of in this maybe mentor role for Jay. Like, this is what the top guy should be doing. You should be focused on that. Why are you thinking about me?
Right.
Why aren't you thinking about yourself? And it seems like Jimmy and Jay continuously think about Roman, obviously, because they're family and everything they've been through with the bloodline. But if it only works the way the old bloodline worked, it needs to end if they all need to move forward.
Okay, here's the other thing. It only works one way. What if it only works with the wise man? That was another thing that occurred to me. I'm interpreting. That was the way that it worked when they were all together.
So this might be a crazy question to ask.
Hit me.
You of all people, but if it only works one way, can Roman do it alone?
Well, that's, I think, now what Roman has to prove. That Roman can do it alone. The bloodline was the launching place for Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns was supposed to be the man in WWE. And we didn't accept him. Fans booed him out of the building. He didn't become the guy until the bloodline started. So he couldn't, it didn't click before the bloodline. It clicked during the bloodline when he wasn't doing it alone. So now coming off of the bloodline, the question is, are you the man without the bloodline?
During his entrance, it looks like he's the man.
I think he is.
But you can't be losing matches like that if you're not.
And you can't have the Usos out there. It just is what it is. And we got a taste of it at WrestleMania, but Paul Heyman turned on him. You know, there was this feeling at WrestleMania when he came out with no red on, when he came out with white and black on, when he came out by himself and his family was on the monitors and he's still doing it for his family, but ultimately he's a man who stands on his own. And in that moment, you were like, yeah, I'm behind this. This is my guy. But things aren't just are just not lining up that way. That's what I want to see from Roman Reigns. Is this is the new incarnation of who and what Roman Reigns is. We need Roman Reigns is 3 acts. The first act is trying to get there. The second act is the bloodline. Now we need act 3, where Roman is truly, you know what it has to be? The island of relevancy has to be an island. It has to be an island of one. Roman has to be, he has to go from being a person who leads the island of relevancy to a man who is the island of relevancy.
Now, I wonder what this does for Jimmy and Jey Uso. Does this push them further apart?
It seemed like it. It seemed like it because Jey walked out on Jimmy after it. Jey said, he's done, I'm done too. It's not the first time Jey has quit on his family. But he said, he's done, I'm done too. And he walked out on Jimmy. And it seemed like, I mean, it's really odd. It seemed like Jimmy's trying to keep the family together, but also wants to do it in a context that's not necessarily accurate.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, well, Roman is who Roman is. You can't fight that. So I don't know. It's getting very, very interesting to me.
A lot of layers.
A lot of layers. I do want to tell you, speaking of big events, that a big announcement was made for WWE fans and for sports fans in general that it's coming back. The world's number one sports fan festival, Fanatics Fest, is making its return to New York City. This is the place where moments are birthed. You never know what's going to happen. We got to be a big part of Fanatics Fest this year. So much fun. Remember my John Cena hug?
Oh, how could I forget?
I'll never forget. That was one of those key Fanatics Fest moments. Fanatics is bringing you closer to the leagues, teams, superstars, and athletes you love across 4 action-packed days in July. Meet your favorite WWE superstars. Get your hands on exclusive merch. Catch live podcasts. Let's try to angle this one on there. And interact with the biggest names in sports. Tickets are going to go on sale this November.
Soon.
That's next month. So mark your calendar and don't miss out. Full information at fanaticsfest.com. Let me tell you something about those.
4 days this year?
4 days.
An extra day.
Extra day. And let me tell you something about those tickets. You know what they make? Great stocking stuffers. If they're going on sale in November, that's the move. Stephanie Vaquer.
She's it. She is her.
That's it, huh?
She's it,
I mean,
right?
you go across the country and they're still going, ah.
Not counting. So proud
They did a
of
great
the
job.
WWE universe. So proud of Stephanie Vaquer, right? I mean, like, you talk about emotion and feelings, and I think we all had those when Triple H is standing in the ring with La Primera.
I believe it's Primavera.
Okay, Chelsea Green.
Oh, sorry.
Standing there with La Primera, you know, awarding her the Crown Jewel Championship, and it's just Stephanie Vaquer has had a year unlike any other WWE superstar.
That's
From
right.
becoming a double champion in NXT to what she did at Evolve to becoming the women's world champion to now doing it on this stage internationally in Perth. And none of us have any doubts, any questions about who she is or where she belongs. And we just want to see more
Yeah.
of Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, I think when we had her on the show, it feels like this all happened quick, but the emotion from her and her telling her story about, you know, leaving her country and coming over and how hard she worked just to get to WWE, it's a dream come true for her. And you feel that every time she's in front of us.
I love when these moments happen, especially for the first time for different superstars, looking at them and figuring out if they're ready for it. And like, there's no moment that's been too big for Stephanie Vaquer. When she won the Women's World Championship, it was like you look at her and you just feel like, yep, that's where she should be. And now you see her. I mean, Cole said it on commentary, 15 months in the WWE. And not only is she Women's World Champion, she's Crown Jewel Champion. She's Champion of Champions. She's La Primera.
And she defeated Tiffany Stratton, who Perth, Australia loves, and that's where Tiffy Time was really born.
I would agree.
And this is a Tiffany Stratton who hasn't lost in 2025.
That's a good point too. And she was. I mean, there were a couple of moments in this match, man. Tiffany finding her way to that Alabama Slam was nuts. Like just the spins and the flips and the everything. It was. I don't even understand how bodies move like that, but it was awesome to see. The build to the Devil's Kiss. Wade Barrett's favorite move, Booker T's favorite move, Perth, Australia's favorite move. The build to that move, where midway through the match, it was teased and Tiffany escaped it. You go, huh? Oh. And then you go, oh my God, it's happening. Twist. Amazing. Tiff at the end misses with that prettiest moonsault ever.
Which I love, the prettiest moonsault ever.
It's
I
so
think
pretty.
it's an incredible finisher.
I do too.
But then when Stephanie Vaquer gets to the top rope and hits her SVP, I go, whoa.
I mean, just corkscrewing.
Yes.
Like nuts in midair. I'm trying to figure out the degrees and the rotations to it and
I
everything.
had my protractor out.
That's right. Me too. You had that compass. Like,
Yes.
okay, let's
Which
see.
angle is
Yeah,
that?
we both look like Magellan trying to figure out what the angle and the dynamic. Like, how many degrees did that spin?
You always got to keep a protractor in your pocket.
Well, you have to. You really do have to
know?
for moments like this.
Yeah, you never know.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. Yeah, but now I got pencil marks all over my television. But yeah, having that moment happen, Triple H coming out, kind of putting the stamp on that, and like it's wild because the future of the women's division becomes the present of the women's division, but the present of the women's division is already what the present of the women's division is, if that all makes sense. Like the women's division itself moves so quickly that I feel like it almost becomes like a multiverse that slams into each other, in the sense that you're like, you start with these sort of, like, you're watching NXT and you go, you know, one day this superstar who just started in NXT will have a match with this person who's like a world champion level superstar on the main roster. And like 8 months later, you're there. You know what I mean? The one days are just like rapid fire. They're like you at a marathon. They're just speeding right by.
Well, I feel like the women's division has really arrived, right? It's like you think back and everything Trish and Lita did, and then you think of the Four Horsewomen, and you think of really this women's evolution that's happened. And now I think this combination of, you have Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, and you have Tiffany Stratton. You have this combination of wrestling backgrounds and athleticism, and it's all together. And we're seeing these women who have experience at the top of their game, but then we're seeing some people who have more of an athletic background taking well to this, and it's all meshing so beautifully together. And I think it's creating a division with a lot of depth. I think every time I do a podcast, I say depth in the women's division. I'm like so sick of saying it because it seems like a cliche, but you just look up and down the roster, and that's exactly what you have in different types of women's wrestlers.
You're looking at, especially as it's ever changing, like Tiffany Stratton has only been here for a minute herself, but like you look at a Stephanie Vaquer or a Julia or a Sol Ruca or a Zarya, and you look at everything that's happening around all of them, and I think that it's a huge disruption in the division in the best possible way, but I truly think that Stephanie Vaquer is the biggest disruptor of all, because you don't look at her and go, oh boy, this is quick. Oh, I didn't think she'd win the title this quick. You look at her and you go, the top tier of the women's division has changed. Stephanie Vaquer is now in the conversation for that top tier of the women's division, and she's not going anywhere. When you talk about the women that are going to main event WrestleMania, not 43, not 44, not 45, this within months in Las Vegas at 42, Stephanie Vaquer is the name you should be talking about. It's ridiculous to think that she won't be in the mix.
Yeah.
For the main event as far as the women are concerned for WrestleMania 42. And I think that and we'll get to the tag match in just a second, but when you look at that tag match, nobody in that tag match would you go, Stephanie Vaquer doesn't belong in the conversation with them. She's in that conversation.
Yeah, and then to get back to the depth of it, right? Like, and we're going to talk about this match, but you have someone like Asuka, who's part of the past, present, and future of this women's division, still performing at the highest level.
Which is how rapid the women's division goes.
Yes.
Right? Let's get into the tag match, right? You had Kyrie and Asuka versus Io and Rhea Ripley, and we were all waiting for it. I mean, listen, it's one of those like, yeah, no duh type of observations, but you still, it bears repeating, as the White Stripes would say. Rhea Ripley might be the biggest, star in wrestling.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. It's the children call it aura, the star power, the magnetism, the what it is. There is nobody like it. You could take anybody. You could take somebody that's never watched professional wrestling a day in their life. And here are the people that they're going to look at and go like, got it. Roman Reigns. Anybody sees Roman Reigns, it's like, oh, that's the guy. Cody Rhodes. Anybody sees Cody Rhodes, they go, I get the connection. I think that's what Cody Rhodes exudes. He exudes his story, his journey, and his connection. And Rhea Ripley. The minute the purple lights go up and the camera pans up and she just turns around, you become like, she's one of those people that I guarantee anybody in the world, you folks at home, experiment with this. Anybody that's in your life that doesn't watch wrestling, just put on Rhea Ripley's entrance, and I guarantee this is what the response will be. I think I like wrestling now. That's the power that Rhea Ripley has, maybe more than anybody else on the roster.
It's the slightest movement of her eyes when she looks up during her entrance.
Yes.
After she does the stomp.
Yes.
And she looks up.
You know the look.
You're sold.
You know what I'm talking. The fact that you know exactly the millisecond that I'm talking about says it all, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like we all are like, oh, like you're transfixed.
Stomps the leg, looks up at the camera.
Yes. And she's in Australia, so the crowd's going like bananas for her, as they should. And they look like bananas in those yellow t-shirts. But
it is crazy. Cole said the biggest superstar to ever come out of this country.
Yeah. Continent.
Yeah. It's inarguable.
Bigger than Luke or Butch of the Bushwhackers.
Inarguable, right?
Yes, 100%. 100%. Outback Jack, Luke and Butch, Bronson Reed, Grayson Waller. It's Rhea. Now, look, Rhea Ripley's never beaten Roman Reigns. Bronson Reed did. But, yeah, it is 100% Rhea, and she exudes that, and she carries it, and she owns it, and it is an amazing thing to see. We spent a lot of time building towards Rhea Ripley getting into the match. We were waiting for it. Of course, while we were waiting for it, we get treated to Io Sky being, like, maybe the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
And the thing, look, Kyrie took a lot of the offense.
Poor Kyrie. She's been
What's
being
the poor
she's been
Kyrie?
abused.
No, there's no abuse. She's an adult. She's a wrestler. Teaming with another wrestler, okay? They're a great tag team. What is this abuse, okay? She's in a top-level tag team match at Crown Jewel, one of the biggest PLEs there is. It's only a 5-match card. And Kyrie is on one of the biggest matches.
But because
And she's, by the way, in there kicking ass. So, like, because they're doing this on commentary, they're doing this all over. Michael Cole's over there going like, well, Kyrie's...
She hid behind Michael Cole at the kickoff show.
I don't know anything about the kickoff show. I don't know anything about that. I saw her in the ring. Maybe she's got stage fright.
Kyrie has been abused by Asuka.
There's no abuse.
But she can't get out.
She shouldn't get out. She was great in this match.
She was excellent.
She did,
but she had to be excellent. Otherwise, she
know,
has to face the wrath of Asuka. And listen,
everybody has to be excellent. This is the WWE. Everyone has to be excellent. If you're not excellent, get to stepping. Go someplace else.
And on top of that, she has to deal with the wrath of Asuka, which no one is ready for Asuka.
Historically, no one has been ready for Asuka. You're right. And it would appear that even in the present tense, you remain correct. Nobody is ready for Asuka. And I wonder if Asuka will be very upset because Kyrie is the one that took the pin.
Yeah, and Io was the one who pinned Kyrie.
Were you surprised by that?
When I think of the story, no.
Tell me why.
If you just put it on paper, it's like, I would say Rhea Ripley's going to get the pin because it's in Australia.
Yeah, let's
and
get these Aussies going crazy.
This is what the people want. Give them what they want. But the story of this entire match was that Io had to leave her family. Her family is the Kabuki Warriors. And so if Io needed to prove a point to her family that she can do this without Asuka, that she can do this without Kyrie, that she can be on her own, that while Asuka mentored her and while Asuka opened the door for her, Io took that and ran, and Io should be credited with the success that she has earned and that she has created for herself. So for her to get the pin over the Kabuki Warriors, I think was crucial in the story of Io Sky.
I like that. I like that reasoning. And with that reasoning, it does make me glad. I think there is a bigger story to be told with Io being the one that gets the pin and the continuous build of Io Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the sort of continuous way to showcase the fact that she is that good, that she is once in a lifetime, once in a generation, however you want to phrase it.
Now, I love the idea of Rhea getting the pin in front of Australia. That's a moment for her. But at this point in time, given the story that we're telling heading into this tag match, I think it was important that Io gets the pin.
What do you think about the fact that Rhea Ripley can't beat Io Sky and Io Sky's the one that got the pin in the tag match?
Well, this is what I've been pointing out to you.
Io
I think
Sky's
it's
very good.
interesting that Rhea is just such a good friend of Io's.
She's a good person.
And she had
She's
Rhea,
a nice guy. What happens to nice guys?
They finished last.
Sometimes.
Rhea had on her face paint Rio.
That's
I like
right.
that.
That's right. Although, historically, when she paints other people's names on her face, it doesn't end well
What, I mean, didn't end well for your guy, Dom?
for her.
For
She
her.
lost Dom.
I mean, Rhea seems to be doing just fine.
She's probably pretty upset about it. I would be.
She didn't look upset today at all. Didn't look.
I'll give you that. She actually looked pretty thrilled today about how everything had panned out.
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty thrilled about it. Great show. Great hang here on the Crown Jewel Recap Show. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast across all audio platforms. We'll be back on Monday with Raw Recap, and that'll be another early show because Monday Night Raw will be at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So I'll be able to wake up early, pour our Lucky Charms in a bowl, watch Dominic Mysterio beat Penta, and just get Monday started off right. But we'll be here to recap Monday Night Raw. If you're watching on YouTube, leave comments, hit like, and we will see you very, very soon on Raw Recap.